Welcome back to the world of Zen. Now, before we jump into the video, please be sure to hit that like, hit that subscribe button, and let me know in the comments down below, is there any hero you want me to take a look at for Sage? Now, Sage has been really fun format for me, and it's really cool to have most of the heroes legal. Shout out to Chain. But Chain had to go, to be honest. Now, before we jump into the deck list, I want to shout out Justin Koo. This is essentially the deck list with a few changes, but he made a great article on the Flesh and Blood website breaking down Zen and also Lyeth, but we'll be looking at Zen. Great explanation. There's even like a little sideboard guide at the very end. So definitely worth a read if you're gonna play Zen, or even if you have some time to kill and you want to check out a great written article. I haven't really touched the Lyeth deck too much, but he also made a Lyeth deck, so definitely be sure to check that out. I'll leave it in the links down below. I'll leave the links for the deck one for one as it is in the Prime to Fight article as well, and I'll leave a link to the few tweaked out version I've made. I've made a small amount of changes. Right, before we get into the changes I've made, I want to talk about why Zen. Because honestly, Zen against Briar is just at the top. Briar's numbers, Briar is so aggressive, and most of the time you're going to lose to Briar. But something that Zen's really good at is actually his matchup against Enigma and Kano, which I think are the other pillars of Sage. Now, you only really have AB and Spell Void against Kano. You have AB2 and Spell Void 1, but the Spell Void can get pretty big as your chain links tend to get pretty wide. AB2 with as many blues as you play sometimes is enough, and you're such an aggressive deck, you really put Kano on a timer, so it's pretty hard for Kano to really set up a powerful turn. As well as Enigma, you're constantly sending weird breakpoints like 2 and 1 to get over the ward. So it has a really easy time clearing the ward. Briar, like I mentioned, is really hard to race. But besides Briar, I think you have a pretty good matchup to the field. And you have a pretty solid strategy into fatigue decks with things like Deep Blue Sea. Now, I've made 2 changes to the list. The one that I think is most important is Bluster buff. So I replaced Tremor of Arathel. Hope I'm saying that correctly. Now this card is pretty good as a 1 for 6 and its ceiling, but 1 for 4 at its floor. I often found when I was doing this, it was because I was transcending. Maybe I used my leg slot to get a Tiger banished. But this blocking 2, and at the time sometimes being a 1 for 4, just felt really lackluster. I think this has a higher ceiling. Definitely if you want to just play with this, play with it. It's also a Monarch rare, so I couldn't find it. But Bluster buff blocks 3, and it's a 1 for 5. Sometimes even a 2 for 6 if you have an extra resource lying around. Another change that could possibly be good is Smash Up. This is kind of like a Command and Conquer, but it's a 1 for 5, and it only works if the arsenal is an attack action. So this could be pretty good against Briar and other aggressive decks, but I'm not sure if it's really worth the slot if you're playing against other things like Enigma, Kano. It's just a 1 for 5 that blocks 2. So make your own choices. Let me know if you guys do end up trying Smash Up, or maybe you really like Tremor. Just let me know down below how that feels. But I think I'm going to stick to Bluster buff for a while. Unless you know your metagame is going to be full of Briars, I think Smash Up could be good. Now if they have a non-attack action arsenal, its effect is kind of textless. But if you hit something like any of their attack actions, this is pretty strong. Now the other change I made is we took out Untamed. As a 1 for 5 and its ceiling, it's pretty strong, but I often found that I just didn't need this, or this was too cost. Like, just costing 1 was way too costly. especially when I drew like an all red hand. Now, you could try Biting Breeze. This is pretty good, being able to make a tiger. I've been trying 100 Wins. This is one of my favorite cards in Ninja. Just 0 for 3. If you combo it with the other 100 Wins, 0 for 4. I think this slot is pretty open. I just didn't like that Untamed cost 1. I was personally just finding it way too clunky. So I just changed it to a 0 cost, but I think there's nothing wrong if you want to play Untamed. You know, if you guys do play it, let me know how it works out for you. I just found it clunky and I wanted to replace it, but I could see this being good. Now, Shapeless Form really brought life back into the deck. Being able to change names or give names to our tigers is so powerful. We have access to the combo line and Fluster Fist. Being able to turn this into essentially Assault the Wound is pretty powerful, especially with as many chain links wide as we do. Also, playing the Rising Knee Thrust, Leg Tap, Blackout Kick combo line is pretty cool, as I've always loved that Ninjas has all these combo lines, but mainly we just see Surging Strike combo line getting played. So seeing these other combo lines is really cool. A 1 for 7 Ender is pretty great. 0 for 5 Go Again is also pretty strong. Now, you could experiment with adding another Leg Tap Blue instead of the 100 Wins. You know, I love just tweaking decks, playing different cards, and just seeing how things work out. I think 1 is fine right now, but let me know if you guys change those ratios around. Another great power card this deck has is Life of the Party. Now, just like Ira, we do play Mask of Many Faces to trigger it, but Shapeless Form can also just turn your tigers into a crazy brew, giving you even more access to the Life of the Party. If you don't have that resource, Shapeless Form can just do it by making the tiger 0 attack, but a crazy brew. Besides that, I haven't really changed much. Another amazing card we have is Become the Cup. This being a Transcend Enabler 0 for 3 is amazing. I've also had a great time playing the red Wind Chakra. So I think this deck has a lot of power, has really explosive turns. Besides the Chi that have no blocks, the deck blocks kind of good. Has a lot of 3 blocks, has a good amount of armor. I think it's a pretty solid deck. I think if Briar leaves and gets voted out of Sage, this definitely could rise up and be one of the meta contenders. I think Briar's kind of holding it back, but I think it's still a pretty powerful deck and a really fun deck to play. Now, like I said, check out the article if you're interested in the deck. If you have any questions, let me know down below. Be sure to hit that like, hit that subscribe button, and let me know what Sage hero you want me to cover next. Thank you all for watching. Peace.